There is a piece of technology sitting on rooftops right now that pulls heat out of your house 24 hours a day, doesn't need sunlight, doesn't need wind, has zero moving parts, and costs less than a dinner for two to build. It's not a myth. It's not a prototype. It's physics that's been sitting in plain sight since before your grandparents were born. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to build one yourself for your homestead for under $100. It's called a radiative sky cooling panel, and once you understand why almost nobody talks about it, you'll understand a lot more about how the off-grid industry actually works. Let quote S start with the problem every homesteader already knows in their bones. Cooling is the most expensive, most electricity-hungry job on your property in the summer. A window AC unit pulls somewhere between 500 and 1,500 watts. A mini-split, even the efficient inverter kind, still wants 300 to 700 watts just to idle along. Run that 8 hours a day through a July in Texas or Arizona, and you've burned through several kilowatt hours before dinner. If you're off-grid, that's panels you have to buy, batteries you have to size up, and an inverter that has to handle the load. If you're grid-tied, that's a power bill that climbs every single summer. And here's the thing that should bother you. According to the International Energy Agency, cooling is already one of the fastest growing categories of electricity demand on the planet, and it's only projected to keep climbing. The entire industry's answer to that has been the same machine for over a century. Compress a refrigerant, expand it, blow air over a cold coil, dump the heat outside. Willis Carrier patented that basic loop back in 1902. Every version since then is just a more efficient copy of the same idea. Compressor, refrigerant, motor, maintenance contract, replacement every 15 or 20 years. So what if I told you there's a way to reject heat from your house that skips every single one of those parts? Here's how it works, and I promise this is simpler than it sounds. Everything around you is constantly radiating heat as infrared light. Your roof, your metal barn siding, even a cup of coffee cooling on the counter. Normally that infrared heat just gets absorbed by the atmosphere and bounced right back down at you. That's the greenhouse effect, and it's the reason the planet holds on to warmth. But the atmosphere has a loophole. Between the wavelengths of about 8 and 13 micrometers, air is almost completely transparent to infrared. Heat radiated in that narrow band skips straight past the atmosphere and out into deep space, which sits at roughly minus 454 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the coldest heat sink that exists, and it's hovering directly above your roof every second of the day and night for free. If you can build a surface that radiates strongly in exactly that 8 to 13 micrometer window, you've built something that dumps heat into space around the clock. No fan, no compressor, no electricity. Plain aluminum on its own is actually a lousy emitter. Its natural infrared emissivity is only around 0.4, meaning it holds onto heat instead of releasing it. But coat it with the right high emissivity finish, and that same sheet of metal turns into a sky-facing radiator. For decades, people assumed this trick only worked at night, because during the day, the sun is dumping close to 1,000 watts per square meter onto that same surface, completely swamping the cooling effect. That changed in 2014, when a Stanford team led by researchers Aswath Raman, Lingxiao Zhu, Eden Raffaeli, and Shanhui Fan published a paper in the journal Nature. Their multi-layer photonic surface reflected the vast majority of incoming sunlight while still radiating strongly in that atmospheric window, and it measured nearly 5 degrees Celsius below ambient air temperature at solar noon in direct sun, with zero power input. That paper is what turned this from a curiosity into an engineering race. Once that proof of concept existed, teams around the world went looking for cheaper ways to reproduce the effect without exotic lab equipment. Researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder published results in Science in 2017 showing that a glass-polymer hybrid film, basically a plastic sheet embedded with tiny glass microspheres, achieved comparable cooling performance and could be manufactured on standard industrial rollers. And none of this is actually new. The core phenomenon has been documented since at least the 1770s. Ancient civilizations in India and Iran used shallow trays of water left out under clear night skies to make ice, even when the air temperature never dropped below freezing. They were exploiting the exact same atmospheric window, centuries before anyone understood the physics behind it. No electricity, no chemicals, just water, a clear sky, and geometry. The Stanford researchers eventually took this commercial, founding a company called SkyCool Systems, and they've since tested rooftop panels pre-cooling refrigerant lines on commercial buildings, cutting the electrical load on conventional cooling equipment. Now, here's where it gets useful for a homestead. You don't need a lab or a manufacturing line to get a meaningful version of this effect. A homemade panel, aluminum sheet with a high emissivity white coating, has been reproduced by independent researchers and hobbyists using nothing but hardware store materials. Titanium dioxide loaded white paint applied over bare aluminum mimics the emissivity properties of the lab-grade coatings closely enough to pull several degrees below ambient overnight and a couple of degrees below ambient during the day when shielded from direct sun with a simple plastic windscreen. That's not going to outcool a mini split on the worst day of August, but it's going to run forever, for free, with nothing to break. So let's talk about actually building one, homestead style. The emitter. Start with a sheet of aluminum, somewhere around 0.02 to 0.04 inches thick. Alloy 1100 or 3003 both work fine. Smooth, flat stock, not corrugated. A 4x8 foot sheet from a metal supplier runs somewhere in the ballpark of $20 to $30 depending on current pricing. The coating. This is the part that actually makes it work. Plain white paint alone won't cut it. You want white acrylic latex exterior paint mixed with titanium dioxide powder, roughly 10 to 15% by weight. You can source titanium dioxide powder from art supply or chemical suppliers for around $12 to $18 a pound, and 1 pound stretches across several panels. Apply 2 to 3 thin, even coats with a foam roller. Thin and even beats thick and globby every time. Thick spots create dead zones that don't radiate as efficiently. The backing. You have to stop the panel from soaking up heat from whatever it's mounted on. 1 to 2 inches of foil-faced polyisocyanurate rigid foam board, coated side facing up, foil facing down, does the job. That's another $15 to $20 for a 4x8 sheet at any home improvement store. Optional water loop. If you want to actually move that cooling effect indoors, solder soft copper tubing in a serpentine pattern to the back of the aluminum before you attach the insulation, then run it with a small 12-volt DC pump. The same kind sold for garden fountains, roughly $15, into a heat exchanger inside. A used automotive heater core from a salvage yard works as an improvised fan coil for $10 to $30. One important warning: do not substitute galvanized steel for aluminum. The zinc coating changes the infrared emissivity in unpredictable ways, and it degrades fast under UV exposure once you've got photocatalytic titanium dioxide paint sitting on top of it. Stick with bare aluminum or stainless. Daytime shield. For any daytime performance at all, stretch a thin sheet of low-density polyethylene, the same clear film used for greenhouse covers, over the panel with an inch or two of air gap. It blocks convective heat gain from warm air without blocking the infrared radiation doing the actual cooling work. A roll runs under $20 at most farm supply stores. The skill level here is sheet metal and basic plumbing, tin snips, a soldering torch, a caulk gun. If you've built a rain catchment system or wired a small solar setup, you can build this dot. Now let's talk honestly about the limits, because this is a homestead channel, and I'm not going to oversell you something. Humidity is the enemy. In dry climates, the desert Southwest, high plains, anywhere the air stays dry, this works beautifully because the atmosphere stays transparent in that infrared window. Push the humidity up past 70%, like you'd see on the Gulf Coast or in the humid Southeast, and water vapor starts closing that window. Expect the cooling effect to drop by something like 40 to 60% in heavy humidity. A panel pulling 7 degrees below ambient in a dry climate might only manage 2 or 3 in a swamp. It's a heat rejection tool, not a power source. This will not charge your battery bank, it will not run your well pump, it will not do anything electrical. What it does is remove heat from a surface. If your biggest summer expense is the electricity your compressor burns fighting to push heat out of the house, this offsets that load directly. If your biggest need is raw electrical generation, This isn't the tool for that job. That's still a solar and battery conversation. Clouds matter. Thick, low cloud cover blocks the atmospheric window almost entirely. Thin, high cirrus clouds are far less of a problem. If you're homesteading somewhere with persistent summer overcast, temper your expectations on effective cooling hours per day. Scale is real. 1 square meter of panel is roughly equivalent to a small desk fan's worth of heat removal, somewhere in the 30 to 40 watt range. To meaningfully take the edge off a modest homestead cabin, you're realistically looking at a couple hundred square feet of panel surface, not one sheet propped against the porch. Think of this as a supplement that takes real strain off your existing cooling, especially at night when it works hardest. Not a total replacement for a compressor system in a brutal climate. Here, quote, the part that actually explains why you've probably never heard of this before today. There's no federal tax credit for it, no Energy Star rating, no line item on any Department of Energy incentive list. The solar investment tax credit covers systems that generate measurable, sellable electricity. A radiative panel doesn't generate anything. It just eliminates demand. And eliminated demand doesn't show up on anybody's revenue statement. Building codes haven't caught up either. Most residential codes have no category for passive radiative cooling. It's not classified as HVAC, not as roofing, not as solar. When a homeowner asks an inspector about mounting one, there's often no box to check, which in a lot of jurisdictions just means no, not because it's unsafe, but because the paperwork hasn't caught up to the physics yet. That's the exact same story solar thermal lived through for decades before code provisions were finally written for it. None of that changes what the aluminum does on your roof. It just explains why nobody's advertising it to you. So here's where this leaves you as a homesteader. The physics is over 200 years old. Stanford proved it works even in direct sunlight back in 2014. Commercial installations have proven it scales. And plenty of independent builders working with hardware store materials have proven you don't need a lab to get a useful version of it in your own backyard. It's not going to replace your mini split in the worst week of an Arizona August. But as a supplement, something that quietly takes strain off your cooling system every single night for the cost of a sheet of aluminum and a can of paint. Nothing else on your homestead comes close on cost per watt of heat removed. If you had to choose for this summer, would you spend an afternoon building a set of these panels for under $100? Or would you put that same money toward more solar capacity to run a bigger AC? Tell me which way you'd go in the comments. I read every one of them. If this saved you from buying something you didn't need, do me a favor and subscribe, because next week we're building a dirt-cheap thermal battery that stores summer heat underground and gives it back to you in January. Same idea. No moving parts, no electric bill, just physics doing the work for you. I'll see you in the next one.